Hey, it's Vicky, and today I'm here to share my reading plans for December. The final month of 2023 is here. It's crazy. I feel like the last few months of this year have just flown by, and I have quite a stack here. Honestly, it's a little bit over ambitious. Honestly, I don't know if I will actually read all of these books, but I think because it is the last month of the year, I just want to get in as many books as I can, and a couple of them are helping me to reach some of my 2023 goals. So yes, it's a very ambitious TBR, but let's just get into it. So the first book that I want to read for the final month of 2023 is All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. I'm going to be reading this on my Kindle, which is going to help me achieve my goal of reading one Kindle book a month. I have managed to do that all through the year, so this is my final Kindle pick for the year, and that goal will then be achieved. And this one, I actually just bought it a week ago, 2 weeks ago. It was a Kindle daily deal, so I only paid $2 or $3 for this, and I couldn't believe it was one of the daily deals because it's a 2023 release. And this one is about a sheriff in, I want to say, Virginia, who he is a black sheriff in a mostly white town, and a school shooting occurs. A student shoots it and kills a teacher, and then that student is killed by the police department in the aftermath of the initial shooting. And so the sheriff of the town is sort of investigating what happened, and he somehow uncovers a serial killer that's been kind of hiding in plain sight. So yeah, this sounds pretty interesting. I do enjoy a police procedural book every now and again, and I read S.A. Cosby's Razorblade Tears last year, and I enjoyed it. I want to say it was a 3-star read. It was very action-packed, and it was a good book. So I'm looking forward to reading his new release, and I hope it's good. The next book that I'm going to read in December is one that I'm honestly feeling a little bit skeptical about, but it's part of a project that I have been doing all year long. I call it my Revisit Remix project, and this is a project I started this year where I'm trying to read books that I have hauled at least 5 years ago. So there were 4 on my list for this year, and they were all books that I hauled in 2018. And I told myself I have to read these books by the end of the year, or I have to unhaul them because they have been on my shelves now for 5 years, and that is just too long to have a book sitting unread on a shelf. So I have read all of them except this last one. And so I don't know why I saved this one for last. I don't know if that was the best decision, but the book is This Scorched Earth by William Gere. And this is a Civil War story, and it takes place in, I believe, Arkansas. I always want to say Alabama, but it's Arkansas. And it is basically the perspective of the Civil War from one particular family and how it affected this family. It's of course fiction, but I picked this book up initially because I had read Gone with the Wind and I loved it. And so I wanted to read more Civil War era books. And this one definitely has some parallels to Gone with the Wind because Gone with the Wind also deals with mainly one family. There's a couple, but mainly one in Georgia during the Civil War. And you sort of saw how the war affected mostly the South, right? So it's more of a Confederate perspective, which is what this book is going to be. And so, having said that, I'm not sure if this one's going to be as good as Gone with the Wind. And I recognize now that definitely Gone with the Wind has some things that they definitely got wrong. I think that may not have been quite accurate, especially in terms of the slaves in Gone with the Wind. So it'll be interesting to see what this book does. This is definitely a more modern book. This one was published in 2018, so it's not very old. So it'll be interesting to see if that is like a facet of this book. and we'll just see how it goes. It's also very long. That's the other reason why I'm like, why did I save this for now when I probably should have read this in January? But I'm hoping to get it on audio because it's 700 pages and it would be nice to knock it out on audio. So we'll see. If I don't read it this month, it's gotta go. I gotta unhaul it, so we'll see. Another goal I had in 2023, my next book is gonna help me fulfill. I wanted to read 5 new to me Stephen King books, and I'm trying to read his books in order. I did get out of order a little bit here, these last 2 books, but it's fine. The next one that I want to read chronologically is from a Buick 8. And this one, from what I can gather from the synopsis, is it deals with a car that may not be from this earth or from this plane of existence. So I don't know if it's an evil car, if it's, I don't know. But the synopsis basically says that this the state trooper in Pennsylvania comes across this car and he can immediately tell that it's not right. There's something weird about it. And so they kind of hide it away in this barn, and bad things happen, and it somehow is tied to the car. I don't know. I'm sort of still confused about the synopsis of this one, but I'm gonna read it this month and hopefully it'll make more sense as I read it. Then I'm gonna be doing the final buzzword for the Buzzword Reading Challenge for 2023. And this month the buzzword was to read books with titles that have sound words in them. So for me, I went with The Weight of Silence, which I know silence is a lack of sound, but I'm still gonna go with it. And this is by Heather Gudenkauf, and this is about 2 little girls that are really good friends that go missing one day. And one of the little girls she has selective mutism, which was brought on by some sort of trauma. And so the 2 families are coming together and trying to find their little girls. So it's probably gonna have some mystery, it's gonna have some drama. I have heard good things about Heather Gudenkauf. I've never read her before, so I'm looking forward to it, and it's gonna help me fulfill the Buzzword Reading Challenge for December. Then I have the 2 books, yes, 2 books that I chose from my book haul revisit that I did in November. Typically when I do those, I only pick one from the sort of unread pile of books. And this time I decided to go with 2 because both books sounded really appealing to me, and both books are going to help me fulfill some goals. So the first one is A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett, and this is a children's classic that I've never read, and I need to read one more classic in 2023 to meet my goal to read 3 classics. So I'm gonna read this one, and it's about a young girl named Sarah who moves to a new country and starts going to this boarding school. She's very wealthy, or comes from a wealthy family, and then something happens where she's basically told that she is never going to see her father again. So I'm not sure what happens to her father, but she's now at this school, and it's sort of a riches to rags story. And then the other book from that book haul revisit is Toni Morrison's Song of Solomon, and this is one I wanted to read because I am taking part in the 20 Books by Black Folks challenge, and so this is going to help me with that. And I have been wanting to read more of Toni Morrison. So when this came up in the book haul revisit, I was like, I can't let it go by. I got to read it. And this one is a coming of age story. And that's all I really know. It's a coming of age story. And it's Toni Morrison, so it's probably gonna be great. And then the last 3 books I have, like I said, this is a very ambitious TBR. But I have 3 more books that I'm hoping to read in December. The first one is a new release that was very anticipating. I went out and bought it the day that it came out, and that is My Darling Girl by Jennifer McMahon. And this one is about a woman who has a very strained relationship with her mother. Growing up, her mom wasn't the greatest. She had a drinking problem, and so in her adulthood she hasn't really had much to do with her. But then one day around Christmas time, she gets this call from her mother saying that she has cancer, and she only has weeks to live and wants to spend her last days on earth with her daughter and her family. So she comes to stay, and when her mother comes to stay, some weird stuff starts going on. And she's thinking it has something to do with mom. I hope I hope it's as great as I think it's gonna be. And then the last 2 books that I want to read in December are Christmas books that I have put aside. I think I bought these at the end of last year and put them aside saying I'm gonna read them next Christmas. So here we are. It's Christmas time. It's time to read some Christmas books. So the first one that I want to read is The Christmas Dress by Courtney Cole. And this one is about a woman who, after her father passes away, she goes back to Chicago where she grew up and where her dad was staying. And he owned an apartment building. And so she sort of takes over this apartment building, and one of the tenants in the building is a woman named Ellie who is getting up in age and is getting ready to actually move out of her apartment and into a nursing home. And she's sort of packing up her things, and she comes across this dress that has had a lot of significance and importance to her. And as she befriends our main character, whose name I think is Meg, yes, she gives the dress to Meg and tells her, you have to wear this dress. Is it Christmas Eve? Or you have to wear it to the apartment building Christmas party or something. And this dress, it seems like it might be magical or something. I don't know. So it seems like it's gonna have Christmassy vibes in terms of like the Christmas magic, right? Which is, I'm totally down for that. And then the other Christmas book is The Christmas Sisters by Sarah Morgan. And this one is about 3 sisters who are coming home to, their moms for Christmas. And they're all dealing with their own lives and have their own dramas and things going on. And it's all coming to the house at Christmas. So the mom just wants to have a nice Christmas, but the sisters are having some drama or something. So family drama, but also the whole idea of, the Christmas spirit and coming together and the importance of family and all of that. It just sounds like it's going to be maybe a little hard-hitting, but is also going to have hopefully like a happy Christmas ending. So we shall see. I'm looking forward to reading it. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of books that I want to get to in December, and I'm not sure how that's gonna happen. So wish me luck. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. And let me know if you're planning to read anything special for the end of the year. Are you trying to fulfill some goals? Do you want to read some Christmas books? What are you reading? I would love to know. And I guess that's it. So I hope everybody has a great December, and I will chat with you soon. Thank you so much for watching.